Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a video that is something that I feel like is very much needed because oftentimes I'll hear about returning players who don't know what to do. I'll either see on like the Dofus Reddit, people will message me about it in game, on Discord, just like all over the place in the comments. I always see things about like returning players and oftentimes they really don't know what to do, or not even that they don't know what to do, they don't know what's changed. Like so much has changed over the years. We kind of don't realize it because we being like standard players who have continued playing, we don't realize it because they come one by one, right? So it's like, okay, something changes, all right, there was a change, but you know, you get used to it, and then by the time the next change rolls around, it feels like you're just in the new normal. So you don't really notice how many changes have accumulated over the years. But I've actually worked with people on my Discord to come up with a pretty good list of all the things that have changed over the years that are like really big and important updates. So if you're a returning player, this will hopefully help you get your bearings and sort of kind of set you on a good track to know what has changed, because a lot of big things have changed and you definitely need to know it. My target for this video is to be around 20 minutes max, which obviously means I can't go into depth, really deep depth into every specific point. I'm going to briefly overview every topic, and if you want to know more, you're going to have to look more into it, but this will give you a good idea as to kind of where we're standing. Anyways, let's get right into it. So first thing, I have this page open, you can see there's a single account server and there's Echo. Where are all the servers, Ilyzaelle, Rushu, all these guys? Well, there was a big server merge many years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but many years ago there was a big server merge. Echo was the conglomeration of all the international servers. So Ilyzaelle, Rushu, Solar, whatever, some other ones, but those are the main three that I know of. And the result is Echo. Ilyzaelle is a fairly new server. You can see here the opening day. Okay, well, I guess it was put together 2017, so that would have been 3 years ago. Ilyzaelle was also open in 2017, but it is a single account server. So what that means is that you can only log one character at a time. So the thing is, the atmosphere on this server is very different because it has a lot more to do with player-player relations. I personally play on Echo mainly. I do have a character on Ilyzaelle, but I don't play it that much. Not because the server's not good, just because most of my stuff's on Echo, and all my friends are on Echo, and it's kind of just what I've built over the years. So we're gonna actually log on to Echo, and we're gonna show you kind of where we are. So first thing you might notice is the game's gonna look different. So we're gonna log my low-level character here, Defy 2. You're gonna notice that the game is different. That is because there were so many visual remakes. First of all, we should be in Incarnam if I planned this correctly. Okay, so you can see here we have a 16:9 ratio screen. Gone are the black bars that used to be on the side. We now have a full screen, which is very nice. Obviously the edges are not somewhere you can click, they're just a preview of the next map. I know there's a way to turn that off if you want the black bars, but I don't know where to find that, I'll be honest. I think it's somewhere in the settings, but I don't know where to find it. Also, you might notice this is actually Incarnam, and Incarnam has had a whole visual and actual remake. You guys can see here the monsters are all different. I'll show you the bestiary. Incarnam dungeon over here has changed. It's now Cardarum script. There's all the different areas here, so different mobs, all that stuff. So the area has completely been changed. Bunch of quests. If you do all the quests here and all the quests in Astrub, which has also been remade, then you actually get a new Dofus. We'll talk about that in a second. So that's Incarnam for you. If we go to Astrub, they actually did an expansion of the non-subscriber area, whereas before, hold on, there should be music. Where's my music, man? Anyways, I thought I wanted music for you guys. Oh, there it is. Hey, there we are. Okay, perfect. Right, so there was actually a big expansion of the non-subscriber area, whereas before you could only access Astrub over here, which is still the case. You can only really access Astrub, and you could do the field dungeon, and I think that was it. Now you can actually do the sand dungeon over here, and you can actually also do the Royal Gobble's Court. If you're new and back to the game but you're starting fresh, I really recommend you start with this one, and you also go to this location here. And speak to those two PNGs there. One's Meta Munchkin, the other one's Belina Thumb. They will give you two separate quest lines, which are going to be dungeon after dungeon and take you through the game if you end up having a subscription. You also see here that Pandala has been remade. We'll talk about that in a second. A lot of big updates have happened to the game, so we're going to remove this. I have my list over here, so if I keep looking here, it's just because I don't want to miss things, so I want to make sure that I'm mentioning everything. So that's it for like these small things, like the expansion, Incarnam, all these things. And next we're going to move on to a section. So it's going to be our PvP section. If you're not interested in PvP section, still you have to listen to this. I'm sorry, because even though it's like mainly I put in the PvP section, it includes everything. So first of all, there's actually been a lot of new classes. Depending when you left, there's obviously, it depends how far back you left. Like rogues and foggernauts, those are pretty old at this point, but they might be new to you if you don't know what they are. You might be saying, like, what the hell is a rogue? What's a foggernaut? I'll show you in a second. But you also have Ujineks, you also have Hyper Mages. Those are a little bit more recent. So I will show you on the Dofus website, actually. I have that here. So if you go to Dofus classes, I'll open it up for you. Hold on one second. I'll show you kind of where we are standing right now with the classes. So pop that open. Here we are. So, there we go. So these are our new classes. We have 18 classes in total. And there's going to be a big thing that I'm about to mention to do with the classes. Every class is so much more capable. And that is because of spell variants. So spell variants is something that has been introduced to the game. I'll show it to you actually in-game. It'll be easier if I show it to you there. Let's open up Dofus here. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh, I guess I just have my screen open and not my... Okay, I got it. Where is that? Jeez, this is very unprofessional of me. Okay, anyhow, we're gonna open this up. So, if you go to spells here, all your spells now have variants, and this is one of the big updates in the game. So, whereas before you only had these spells and you leveled up to level 100, and after level 100, the next spell was level 200, which was the Doppel. The Doppel's now been removed. There's no more Doppels. There's still the Doppels you can fight at the temples, but these Doppels have been removed. And now instead you have these variants. So what are these variants? Basically, you can choose between which spell or which version of a spell you want to play in a fight. And each spell has a variant. So the variants are very different, and they allow for such a big variety of gameplay, and such a big, like, every class gets a whole new identity just through the variants, and you can choose very unique types of gameplay just by choosing specific variants. Basically, right now I'm only level 110 on this character, so I don't have them all unlocked. As you can see here, if you click acquisition levels, you'll also see another important thing, which I'll mention in a second. But before we get into that, you can see here, so you have all your variants. You can switch between them. Wait, I want one where you guys can see the icon. So let's do like this one. So I have the choice between teleportation or spontaneous return. So there they are. So there's a lot of new spells introduced to the game. I suggest you take a minute. I don't suggest you necessarily go and like try to learn them all. Just play and you'll be exposed to them eventually. If you try and learn them all at once, it's gonna be like studying for a test. God, we're at 8 minutes, I gotta hurry up. It's gonna be like studying for a test, and you'll never memorize them all. Just play. Maybe try different classes. If you want, you can log on to beta, that's still a thing. And other than that, just do challenges, do PvP, even do PvM. Just check out your own class. You'll figure it out eventually. Take your time, don't rush it. And what I was going to say is here, you guys can see these levels. So no more characteristic scrolls, whereas before you had to buy characteristic scrolls bought through the Kolossium. Or was that the only way? Well, you can buy them by getting Colo tokens, or buying them in the market, of course. But now you just have your spells level automatically as you level. So if you click here, display all acquisition levels, you'll see here. So level 1, this and this, and that's it. Also, this is a cool button here. You can click this class mechanics. It'll tell you a little bit about your class and some of the main features of your class, which is kind of cool. Also, you now have ensembles, which are, because of this, actually, we've got to mention one more thing too. You now have a free characteristic points reset. You can always reset your characteristics, sorry, not characters. Put them in. As long as you're subscribed, I think that's the condition. Boom, put them in here, and it's free. Whereas before you had to do all the Automine dungeons and all that, now you don't have to do that. And linked with that is ensembles. So because of variants, because of characteristic scrolls, and because of all the gear options, now that you can switch this very quickly, people no longer focus on a singular element. Whereas before, okay, I'm an intelligence Feka, right? And my sets are all intelligence because my stats are intelligence. But now that you can switch stats instantly, people have a lot more different sets. And Encarnam has introduced a way to manage that, which is Ensembles. So Ensembles manages 3 things. It manages your equipment, manages your spell variant choices, and 3, your characteristics. So for example, this is my intelligence ensemble, where it will actually put in the bar the order of the spells that I have set for it and the variants that I have chosen, as well as distribute my characteristics in a manner that I have chosen. And on top of that, it'll switch to my intelligence equipment. So for example, I'll give you a quick example. If I do my strength ensemble, I'm going to be in this one. You'll see here, and you'll see here. These are my spells. Now if I switch to, and obviously my set's different, right? But if I switch to my intelligence ensemble, you guys will see here, everything's going to switch and all that. And these are just like pre-saved ones. And I believe that's it. New classes, variant spell points, yep. Okay, now we'll move on to a little bit of... Actually, wait 1 second, just before that. Kolossium has been reworked. So you guys can see here, there's actually now a Kolossium ladder that's on the website. You guys can find it. There's 3v3 solo, 3v3 group, and 1v1 colo. So you can actually do 1v1 colo, which is really fun. It's my personal favorite. And you have a rating, you have a rank, and it goes up. I think it was always like that. But now, Kolossium's inter-server, whereas before it used to be within your server, depends how far back you go. And then, yeah, I believe it used to be within your server, and then they made an inter-server. But inter-server is a lot more fun because you fight a lot of different people, and you get a lot more colos, of course, because you have access to a bigger player base. Okay, 11 minutes. Next up is PVM. So, one of the big updates for PVM is idols. So you have idols over here, which I of course don't have any because I am underprepared. But I will go quickly to Bonta and you'll see. And actually, while we're there, I could give you a quick overview of what's happening. Also, Haven Bags. Did you guys know about Haven Bags? That just came to mind. So Haven Bags, if you press H, it's just this little house in your pocket. You have to be subscribed and over level 10. And you can kind of design it however you want. You can customize it. And it's really cool. And you have access to your own zap in your pocket. And you can access it from anywhere except like specific maps. Sort of like how you can't always use recall potions or sign up for colo. Like some maps just restrict you to certain things. Sorry. Anyways, we're going to head to Bonta and I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to show you the markets because those were changed as well. All the markets were compacted. And hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Right, so all the markets were compacted. And whereas before you had like a, what did you have? I gotta remember, like a tailor's market, jeweler's market, shoemaker, shoemaker, all these things. Now you just have like an equipment market, and now you just have resource market. Now you just have a consumables market, which is like potions and shit. Right now we're interested in resources because that's where idols are. So if you actually open up here and you go to idols, you guys will see here are all the idols. So what are idols? Idols are a system where you equip one of these in your idol slots and you can go up to 6. And what they do is present extra challenge to the fight. And in reward, you get extra XP bonus and a loot bonus. So you drop more things and you get more XP, which is really cool. And the thing is, the way that the idols work is a little bit complicated because they have synergies with each other. Each idol has its own effect, and some of the idols belong to a family of idols. So, for example, this Dynamo here gives you 1 MP. Now, if I were to type Dynamo, you guys will see the family of Dynamos, which go up in level. So you got Dynamo, Minor Dynamo, which gives 1 MP, got Dynamo, which gives 2, Major 3, Great 4. And that's kind of how most of the idols work. Some of them are just standalone because they have their own weird effect that can't really be upgraded, like this Natul one, I think it's called. Yeah, this one, for example. When an enemy dies, they are automatically resuscitated by the next enemy in the initiative order. You can't really go up from there, right? So it's just a standalone idol. And some idols present good synergies with each other. I'll give you just a quick example so you understand. For example, if I were to equip a Minor Oath. So Minor Oath increases my opponent's close combat damage, right? By 50% or by more, depending if I go up the tree. And let's say I equip that with a Minor Dynamo. Now the mobs have more MP and hit harder in close combat. So those two things present a synergy, whereas in a way they make the fight even more challenging by being both there together. I hope that makes sense, because they now have more MP and they hit harder in close combat, so they complement each other in a way to make the fight even harder. So if I were to purchase this, let's say, bro, I'm about to get scammed. What the hell? Look at that average price. Look at that price. Whatever. Do it for the video. Anyways, so if I go here, I go minor oath, and this one. So you can actually see the synergies. Somewhere you can see it. There we go. So if you click here, positive synergy. So it's a positive synergy, minor dynamo, minor oath. There can also be negative synergies. If you put two idols together that don't really complement each other, actually do the reverse. For example, let me think of something. I don't know. I can't think of these things off the top of my head. But there are examples. Like, there are things that just don't work that well together. So if you are looking for idol compositions, I don't really know any. You can find those on the forum. You can find those by asking around. But just know that idols are a thing. That took a long time. Anyways, next up is Infinite Dreams, which is one of the absolute biggest PVM updates that have happened to the game over the years. So the Infinite Dreams is just accessible through here. It's one of your menu tab options. And basically, if you access the Infinite Dreams, it will take you here. You speak to this person, and it will take you to... I'll actually show you. Let's just do this. Start a new exploration, confirm. Start a training exploration at your current level. No, let's do a classic. I didn't know that there was a training exploration. That's cool. Anyhow, so basically what it will take you to is this infinite dungeon, where if you open up the map, you'll see here, you can do this huge loop. So every floor, right, there's this many floors up until floor 400, and you can go beyond 400. But up until 400, every room you'll get a chest. That is, so between one and one room, you'll get a certain type of chest, and then the level of that chest will vary depending how hard the fight is. And then between another room and another room, you'll see them, they're coded by colors. You'll get another type of chest, and the level of it will depend on how hard the specific room is. Anyways, this is the Well of Infinite Dreams, and basically what it is a randomization dungeon. So it'll take a dungeon boss, and it'll throw random mobs from around the game with them, and it'll make it harder because it'll also have an effect on the fight. So there's 3 levels of effects. There's Dream, Paradox, and Nightmare. Dream is the easiest, Paradox is the middle one, and Nightmare is the hardest. And it has like an effect on the fight, and each dungeon boss's effect is always the same. So like a move wolf stream is always the same effect. So it's always going to be when an ally moves an enemy, whatever, you guys can read it. And then Move Wolf's Paradox is always going to be the same thing. Or if you're lucky, you can have Astral Calm, which means there's no effect. But also, if there's Calm, that means that the score of the room, which you can see here is lower, 118, because it's easier. And that means that the level of chests you get will be lower. And what can you get with these chests? Well, I'll show you in a second. And it's, again, one of the big parts of the game. But just understand that it's like mobs that normally aren't together are going to be together. And as you progress through the levels, they will linearly get harder. So whereas a normal Moo Wolf has like, I don't know, let's say 8,000 HP, this one might have 20,000. And at stage 300, he might have 25,000 or 40,000, or, you know, it goes up linearly. It'll get more and more difficult. And obviously they're mixed with normal mobs. You got to really know your mobs to do this very well. But it's definitely a fun system, and it's very rewarding. I will show you here. So if you go Encyclopedia, Resources, and I want to show you Dream Chests. Dream Resources. No, I want to show you chests. Chest. Let's just type that in. Chest. Oh, I suppose it would be a consumable. That's right, because you can double click it. So chest. Dream. Come on, I got this. Oh my god. Let's just click there. Okay. So you guys can see it's these one here. So for example, this one here, the Dream chest, these ones here, you can see them by the different colors and the different sizes. So this is like between one level of the dreams and the other, you'll get these yellow ones, and then the one of the 3 that you get will be dependent on the room. That's what I was trying to explain. And the rewards you get are cool. They got to do with runes. They can have things to do with equipment, and equipments are going to be your rare drops. They also have like other things like elixirs and stuff, which to you probably sounds like, what the hell is he talking about? But you'll understand it at some point if you just look into it a little bit more. But the main thing that they give is those that people really want is those legendary resources. So what are those? They allow you to craft legendary equipment, which I will show you here, and they also allow you to craft Prysmaradites, which I will also show you in a second. This video is not going to be 20 minutes, we're already at 20 minutes. I can never stick to my time limits. Anyways, it's fine. You guys need to know these things. So, legendary equipment. So legendary equipment is, I'll show you examples. Let's say this cape here. It is a kind of equipment that has effects. So, for example, this one here gives 10% spell damage, 80% power, whatever, but it also has an effect. So regular equipment, classic equipment doesn't really have an effect, but this one, when the bearer suffers damage in an element, they gain 3% resistance in that element for 2 turns, stackable 5 times. So that is an example. Or you got like this one. Obviously, there's a lot of them, and you guys can look into them yourselves. But you got this one, you got that effect, you got shields. Oh, shields, I gotta mention those too. Okay, so shields have also actually changed a lot. But anyways, that's kind of what's happened. Next up, I need to mention, well, I'll talk about shields in a second. Just give me a moment. We'll get to that last. Like shields and Prysmaradites, which I think I mentioned briefly, and Dofuses have changed. I'll mention those in a second. Next up, I just want to tell you guys about wanted monsters real quick. So wanted monsters have changed the way that they work. I, of course, don't have any. God damn it. I don't have any, but wanted monsters have changed because whereas before, if you did a wanted monster, you get a reward in commas. You no longer get that reward in commas. You now get a reward in Doploons. So I'm sure you guys know Doploons because they've always kind of existed, I think. I'll show you here really quickly. So if you just pick up any wanted monster, so let's say this one, and click here, so you'll see I now get a certain amount of Doploons. Now Doploons are no longer acquirable from Doppels. So the Doppels still exist, and you can still fight them at the temples, right? But you can no longer get Doploons. What you can get is a validated quest, which means if you want to stack up like your quest numbers, if you go here to your achievements, which I didn't mention the achievements, but I feel like they've been here for a while, so I hope you guys know. Anyways, if you don't know what achievements are, it's just achievements. Like there's different achievements, different targets, exploration achievement, dungeon achievements, whatever. Anyhow, there's these different achievements here, and there's like one for quests and number of quests, and you get really crazy rewards. No, wait, let's just go general, click that off. Right, so let's do quest, general. Right, so here, you guys can see if you complete certain number of quests, you get certain rewards and titles and ornaments and all that cool stuff. Do you guys know titles and ornaments? Oh god. So anyways, if you go here, you got ornaments and you got titles. They're achieved through different things. You can do display unobtained ones. If you do certain things, you can get cool ones like, let's say, like this one. Oh, come on. I gotta close my wings. Come on, I gotta close my wings, you're serious? Okay, so we'll close our wings, and then you guys can see, for example, you got these ones, right? They're really, really cool. They make your character look really cool, and you got these different titles as well. Anyways, I was talking about this, so you can no longer get Doploons from Doppels. You can only increase your quest number and get like XP if you're interested in fighting Doppels. There's also been a bunch of new areas. Gotta show you those. On the map, you can actually access different worlds now. So, let me show you how to do that. Actually, I'm not 100% sure how to do that. I think I gotta move this first. Come on. Display my... I just want to move this thing. It won't let me move it. I should be able to move this, but for some reason the game's not letting me move it. Anyhow, in the map, you'll see there's a bunch of different areas. There's also now dimensions. So I don't know when you guys left specifically, but there was a time ago where there were not dimensions. Now dimensions are accessible through portals that you hunt starting here at the Voyager's Tower. So if you go into the Voyager's Tower, you'll click a little thing and you can start a hunt for a dimensional portal. Or if it's known, you can just go to that location. A portal spawns with 128 uses, and once those 128 uses are done, then the portal will disappear, and you guys will have to, someone will have to find it again. Now, I do own and manage a server where we keep track of these, and I pay people to do it so that the whole server knows. I'll put the link, it'll be just in the description so you guys have it if you're interested in that. But there's also a lot of different areas. So, main areas that have been remade, I'll mention them really quickly. You have Sidekicks here. You have this like whole different area that's been remade. You guys should definitely check that out. Pandala is definitely big area that's been completely reworked. This is very recently. You have abysses. So down here in Sophia, if you go here to the abysses, you'll go to this underwater land, which has these cool dungeons and stuff, and you'll be underwater, so you might not be able to use mounts. You can use pets though, and you wear this little like bubble helmet so that you can breathe and stuff. It's really cool. Anyways, and that's it. Oh, Huimi, that's a new area, so that's up here somewhere. There it is. And the boats to these, you can just, sorry, I'm gonna give myself a stroke scrolling around so fast. Anyways, you can find the boats here just by, so boat to Madristram Harbor. So you go to Madristram Harbor and you find it here. Anyways, and then you have Nimaltopia, which is another area here. It's like a heart. It's pink. Oh well. Anyways, so that's it for new areas. Next up, we have different parts of the game which are a little bit smaller to mention, just real quick ones. So you have sidekicks. Now you can have a sidekick. Oh god, I don't have any with me. But anyways, you have sidekicks. So over here, you can add a sidekick which will help you in a fight. So you get these sidekicks either by doing achievements. So for example, if I go here and I put signal, because they're all called something signal. So at 500 achievements, you get this one, the Astrub Knight. At 1000, you get these two. And there's other ones that you can buy like through the Green Market and such. Anyways, you equip them, and they're kind of like a character that accompanies you in a fight, and you control them. And they each are different, so they can help you out in fights, like if you're playing by yourself. But the thing is, they take a little bit of the XP of the fight, like they'll make you get less XP. But if you're just doing like a dungeon and you need help passing it, let's say you're trying to do some achievements, then they could be a good choice if you don't have anyone, if you have no friends. Next up, we have cosmetic items. So I don't believe this was a thing before, but now we have cosmetic items. So similar to how living items work, like Lividmin helmet and Ilyzaelle and Parasymbiotic ones. It's kind of the same idea, where you can just attach it and deattach it, and if you don't want it, you can sell it. Now this one's linked to my account, but there are some that are not linked, like this one here, right? I can dissociate that. This I can sell it, or I can buy it again, and it kind of just goes on your equipment, and it's a cosmetic thing. We also have professions, so professions have completely changed. Now every character can have every profession, and they no longer go up to level 100, they go up to level 200, and it's the item that you can craft, the maximum level of item you can craft is just the level of your profession. So if I'm level 6 on this character here, one Jewel Magus, I can only mage items of level 6. If I was level 152 Jeweler, I can only craft level 152 maximum Jeweler related things. Next up actually is big equipment things. Where are we at? 27? Okay, I'll finish this before 30. So next up is big equipment changes. So shields have been completely remade, whereas before they used to be only PvP accessible, so you had to have a certain rank, which is what I had before my wings were on. No, that's not there, it's there. I had my wings on before. You have to have a certain PvP rank in order to be able to wear shields. Now shields are completely different. Everyone can use shields. They each have a specific bonus, and they alternate between, they have a bonus and they have a negative side. So you kind of got to choose how you're going to approach the game. For example, if we go here, Stalag Shield, that's one of the most popular ones, gives range damage minus melee damage. So kind of forces you to play more into a range option, because you have 30% more damage in that way. But if you're a crowd, for example, obviously it's a very good choice. You have lower level ones too. Each one does something. Just take a look through them. And you can wear shields now. You can maybe Symbic shields to have even cooler skin. Definitely really cool. So after that, we also have Prysmaradites. So Prysmaradites are here. Wait, let's go Prysmaradites. So these are related to dreams, which I had mentioned before. Through dream resources, you can craft these, and what they are is just like things that you can only equip one of these. So you can only equip one Prysmaradite per fight, and it's like an effect that's gonna go from the first turn of the fight. So for example, this one, at the start of the fight for 2 turns, you're gonna get 1 MP per enemy more than 15 cells away. This one, for the first round, you get 2 AP. This one, for the first round, you get 4 AP, but you also lose 4 MP, for example. And they're just these cool like things that you can put, but you can only put once. For example, this one's really nice. The bear becomes invisible at the start of their turn for 1 turn. So every class can go invisible the first turn if you have this, but obviously they're very expensive. Next up, one of the biggest equipment changes in the game also, along with the shields, is pets. So pets have been completely changed. Whereas pets before used to be... where are my pets? These are them. Anyways, whereas pets before used to be something that you had to feed all the time, give any rips of powders to so they don't die, resuscitate with resurrection powders if they die. Now pets are like immortal, right? They don't die. They're just like a piece of equipment. And their stats have completely changed, and their stats have exploded in power. So let's take Carmelian. That's still an old pet. Let's take these guys. So these are like the main damage ones. Got these pets at level 80, 120 intelligence, 20 fire damage, and you know you got your other element versions of that same one. Up here you got all these different ones. Wait, so you guys can scroll through and look, but there's so many different pets, and they're really, really powerful. And you feed them either with random resources or with enriched croquettes, which are pretty expensive. And the way you get those is through Kolossium or through like Alliance nugget farming, right? Like, I don't know too much about that, but like the King of the Hill system, when you guys take over a certain area and then the nuggets get distributed across the mobs, and if you kill the mobs you'll get the nuggets. Or you can just recycle resources through recyclers in Alliance prisms, and that way you can get nuggets, and you can buy these things with nuggets at the Alliance temple. Or you can come here and do colos like a real man, and you can buy enriched croquettes, which you can feed your pet, give them 500 experience. It takes 392 croquettes to get your pet from level 1 to 100, and they're pretty expensive. But of course the pets are also very strong, so it's kind of worth it at the same time. And lastly, we're going to end up with, I'm going to talk about the updates to the Dofuses. We're at 31 minutes, oh lord. Anyways, the updates to all the Dofuses. So we're going to go here, Dofus, we're going to sort by level. So the Dofuses have also been really changed. Now a lot of Dofuses work on a system of active and passive. So a lot of the Dofuses will have a active bonus and a passive bonus. What that means is they have an active bonus, which is something that is fixed, and a passive bonus is something that you can get by doing specific things in the fight, or you can just get naturally through the fight. They're different. I'll show you in a second, but they're not all like that. So you got your classic Dofawa. This is the silver Dofus that you get by doing the Incarnam and Astrub quests. This one by Quack Island, and your Coward Dofus. So for example, Coward Dofus here gives you 60 wisdom, and that's a fixed bonus, an active bonus as we say. But it also gives you this passive bonus where if someone tries to do MP reduction on you, you'll get AP loss resistance. If they try to do AP reduction, you'll get MP loss resistance. If it was the other way, it would be really useful, but because it's that, I think they did that on purpose, obviously, to make it less useful, because it's only a level 60 Dofus. You got the Dokoko here, which you can get from Moon Island. It heals you a lot, very popular Dofus. Vulbus is now questable, and it's also... oh wait, this is the old one. This is not the actual one. This is the actual Vulbus Dofus. Level 180, it's now questable. It gives you 1 MP, and if you don't get hit in your turn, then you'll get 10% final damage for the next turn. You guys can see here your Dolmanax, which you get through the Almanacs, which I think has been there for a while, so I hope you guys know what that is. Watcher's Dofus is like a low-level Dofus that you get through Dimension Quest. The high-level Dofus you get through Dimension Quest is here. It's the Cloudy Dofus. We'll talk about all of these really quick. Emerald Dofus gives 200 Vitality. If you end next to an enemy or multiple enemies, you get 100% of your level in shields per enemy that you end next to. Summons are not included, of course. Crimson Dofus, every time you get hit, you'll hit harder. Dotredge, that's kind of garbage. Dorigami and Domakuru, these two you get from the new Pandala area. They have really complicated bonuses, I'm not going to read them. Turquoise Dofus, every time you crit, you hit harder. Ochre Dofus, if you do not receive damage, you'll get an AP for the next turn. Ice Dofus, Ivory Dofus, this one was recently changed. Cloudy Dofus I mentioned, this one's also from Pandala. Sparkling Silver Dofus is like an evolution of the Silver Dofus. It's pretty cool. Basically, if your HP goes lower than 20%, the next turn you can be healed 30%, but it's only it's only doable once per fight. Lavasmith Dofus, every push or pull you get shields, and you get pushback resistance. This Dofus really counters Excellers, because also whenever they teleport you, you get 150 shields. So like if a Exceller does a telefrag with you, you get 150, and then they telefrag you back, which is like very common in Exceller gameplay. You'll get 150 shields every time, which is kind of broken, and hopefully they're going to change that soon. You got Abyssal Dofus, is one of the most popular Dofuses currently, because you're going to get an AP or an MP depending on whether there's someone next to you or not next to you, but you'll always get either an AP or MP, so it's kind of like having an extra XO. Ebony Dofus was recently changed. Now it's basically just a dodge trophy. It used to be quite powerful, but now it's not quite as powerful. You guys can read over the description if you want. Anyways, I think that is everything. If I forgot anything, it's very important if you guys can think, like if you're not someone who's necessarily that new and there's something that I've missed, make sure you leave it in the comments so that someone who is new or like returning or whatever will be able to find that, and that way they at least know what that is. Other than that, there's not much else to say that I can think of right now. I'm really tired after talking for 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed, please do so, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day and goodbye.